We have a really great leadership board. Matt Harr is the chairperson, Nancy Gongaware, Priscilla Pope, John McClure, Roger Wincoop, Taylor Lawson Smith, Myron Sheets, Elizabeth Grigo, Sharon Silvers, Marty House, Daniel Jackson, and Dan Barnett. Last night, they and our staff met together in a virtual meeting. In addition to welcoming a new member to our church, welcome Angela Williams, their chief focus was the consideration of when and how we might move toward meeting again for in-person worship. In addition to the advice of the CDC, state and local officials, our bishop's advice, and medical professionals within our congregation, they were also able to process the 300 responses to our recent online questionnaire of members of our congregation. Clearly, we are taking steps to move toward in-person worship. First Kids Learning Center is opened back up and is registering children for the next section. Our church staff are back for regular hours. And last night, the leadership board decided to begin allowing small, 10 and under weddings and funerals in our sanctuary. It's also clear that we are living in the tension of two competing values. We long for in-person worship, to gather and to be together. And we also want everyone to be safe. We don't want to become a hot spot for the spread of COVID-19. That all said, the leadership board is asking us to wait a little while longer as we continue to assess the risk and possibilities of worshiping in person. In the meantime, we are making concrete plans for that day when we would gather again in person. What might that look like when we do meet? Current rules limit us to 25% capacity, which means only 70 people in the sanctuary at a time, plus 30 live streaming and NPR. It would mean everyone wearing masks, no exceptions, as a sign of caring for each other. It would mean we wouldn't have any congregational music. The choir wouldn't sing. Singing expels particles and presents a high risk for spread of the disease. It would mean that persons would be spaced 3 pews apart. It would mean no bulletins. It would mean that the offering would be collected at plates as we exit. It would mean that we wouldn't gather in the atrium to talk, though persons could possibly spread out and talk on the parking lot. And it would mean no donuts. The leadership board will be meeting again in June to continue the discernment process. I would ask that you pray for them. Pray not that they would come to the same decision you might make, but rather that they would help us all to move to where God would have us be. It's always a good thing to own that our will is not God's. If ever there was a time for spiritual humility, boy howdy, this is it. Blessings always.